welcome to the Speeding Bulletin report. My name's Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com. This is all the Superman related news from the week April 4th to April 10th, 2008. In JLA movie news, the film tentatively titled Justice League Mortal could be jumping the ditch from Australia to New Zealand if director George Miller's final appeal to the Australian Film Finance Corporation doesn't get him the 40% tax rebate he's been hoping for. IfMagazine.com published an exclusive interview with composer Ken Thorne, who talks about how he adapted John Williams' Superman the Movie score for Superman 2 and Superman 3. With Al Gough and Miles Miller's announcement last week that they wouldn't remain with Smallville for its 8th season, rumours began circulating regarding the reason behind their decision. The Superman homepage received word from a network source who told us that Gough and Miller, like many of the cast, did not have a contract for Season 8, and with the studio picking up the new season at an extremely reduced license fee, basically looking to do an 8th season show at first season prices, my sources tell me that these budget cuts were the reason Al and Miles decided to leave. The budget cuts wouldn't allow them to make the kind of show that they wanted to make or felt that the fans deserved. Still on Smallville, Sprint and the CW are joining forces once again to bring fans a series of animated mobile phone episodes based on the Supergirl character. No release date has yet been announced for these Supergirl mobisodes. TV Guide's Ask Osceola video report this week had some interesting spoilers regarding the 150th episode of the series, which was directed by Tom Welling. Something about Chloe getting engaged. Jeffrey Bridges has updated our Legion of Superheroes episode guide with his summary of the series finale, Dark Victory Part 2. Jeffrey has also written his review for this same episode, rating it a 3 out of 5, saying, "If I were rating it on story alone, it would be a 2, but the sentiments behind a lot of the nonsense was right, especially in the case of Superman, so that brought it up a point for me." Superboyhomepage.com have uncovered rare interview footage from early in the production of the 2nd season of Superboy, the TV series. The small interview clips include brief words from Carrie Bates, Gerard Christopher, Ilya Salkind, and Stacey Hyduck. Check them out at the Superboy homepage YouTube channel. Newsarama.com spoke with artist George Perez about Final Crisis Legion of Three Worlds, which fans got a taste of in the pages of Action Comics 863 last week, and they asked him about many things, including what we can expect from the first issue's cover. Check out the interview at their website. While you're at Newsarama.com, check out their interview with writer Kurt Busiek, in which they ask him all about his new weekly comic book, Trinity. Of interest to Superman fans is the part of the interview where Kurt lets us know what we can expect from Superman in Trinity. The first issue of this new weekly comic books hits shelves in June. Comic books we reviewed this week were Action Comics 863, which was reviewed by Neal Bailey, who rated it a 5 out of 5, saying, "Though I had multiple issues with the preceding parts, it closed rather well, with strong writing and many great moments." Barry Fryman reviewed Countdown to Final Crisis 4, stating, "Characterization in this issue is all off all round," and he rated it a 2 out of 5. Justice League Unlimited number 44 was reviewed by Adam DeChannel, who gave it a 5 out of 5 rating, saying, "Thoroughly enjoyable with neat character-driven moments that are rare in many comics today." While Jeffrey Bridges reviewed Supergirl number 28, giving it a 3 out of 5 rating, saying, "At the very least, I'm not utterly dismayed, and it's the first time I can say that about a Supergirl comic in a while." James Lance took a look back in time again this week, reviewing Action Comics 491, which concludes the Superman battle with Brainiac's Krypton attacks. He rated this issue a 5 out of 5. Superman comics shipping this week from April 9 include Countdown to Final Crisis 3, Justice Society of America number 14, Superman Confidential number 14, Booster Gold number 8 features Superman, Showcase presents Superman Family Volume 2 trade paperback, Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes The Quest for Cosmic Boy trade paperback, Justice League Unlimited Ties That Bind trade paperback, and Trinity Superman action figure. A quick update on the Superman copyright legal situation. The judge presiding over the litigation between DC Comics, Warner Brothers and the family of Jerry Siegel has ordered both parties to spend 60 days engaged in good faith mediation in an effort to resolve the issue. We'll let you know what the outcome of these meetings is once news is forthcoming. In the meantime, you might want to head over to Comic Geek Speak, a fan podcast dealing with anything relating to comic books, who spoke about the Superman lawsuit in an episode called Superman on Trial. Joining them to help fill in the blanks on Superman's legal woes are listeners Joe Sergi and Corey Strode, who happen to be lawyers as well as comic book fans. Go to comicgeekspeak.com. Superman homepage reviewer James Lance continues reviewing story arcs from the 1940 Superman radio series. This time he takes a look at the Dr. Blythe's Confidence Gang story, which sees Superman team up with Batman and Robin to clear Lois Lane of murder charges. And that's all the Superman-related news for the week April 4 to April 10. I'm Steve Younis from supermanhomepage.com.
Hello, welcome to Bailey Planet. People often ask me what I would recommend for them to read if they're just getting into Superman, or if they've been in Superman for a while and want to read my favorite stuff. I tend to like comic book runs. I've been rereading the Byrne era stuff and the early 90s stuff, and it doesn't stand up as well as a lot of people like to think it does in terms of like, oh yes, the romantic good old days when everything was perfect with the triangle numbers. I think what they admired was the continuity. The storytelling is still set in the early 90s when things had not moved on with decompression. There's still thought bubbles, even though now captions have become the new thought bubbles. But at any rate, the Death and Return of Superman is a very, very good trade to read. It's got some hokey elements, but it stands up as probably my favorite run of stories. Or not my favorite run, my favorite single story. My favorite run of writing is Greg Rucka's run on Adventures of Superman, which is fantastic if you can find it. You could probably still find it in issue form fairly cheap, or they have it issued in trades. Kingdom Come is basically Superman's version of The Dark Knight Returns, and is excellently drawn and written, has a lot of really great character moments, and is a good alternative timeline, and fits in with a lot of stuff that's going on with comics right now, particularly with JSA. Our Worlds at War used to be a steadfast recommendation for me, but Our Worlds at War I just read again recently, and it's not holding up as much, partially because it was an event. You know, like, events are really kind of jading the fans right now. There was a lot of things that happened in Our Worlds at War that now mean nothing, like, for instance, Aquaman dying, Hippolyta dying, they're both back, Sam Lane dying, now he's kind of back as a ghost in a weird Simone issue, but and finally, Up, Up and Away is an incredible story to read. It really got me hopeful for the Busiek and John's run, and then things kind of went with Superman 674, which is still sitting here 2 weeks later, because I don't record these all at the same time. But yeah, check out any of those and you're guaranteed to have a good time, or you can just write me a nasty letter, because, you know, that's what people do.